Happy Valentine's Day from The Go Show. I'm Pat Casler, Director of Communications and Corporate Relations for the Schaumburg Park District, and we're visiting today with Chef Jeff Schiestel, who is the owner of Jeff Can Cook Catering, one of the best caterers in town. And Jeff's going to be telling us how you can put on the perfect Valentine's dinner at home. Jeff, tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. Jeff Can Cook Catering is a full-service catering company. What that means is that rather than just dropping off trays of foil-covered food, we will come to your house or business ahead of time, set everything up, bring all the dishes with us, do the work, prepare all the food, serve it to you and your guests, whether that be as a buffet or table service, much like you would have at a restaurant. And then at the end of the evening, we clean everything up, take the dishes away, and leave you with a clean kitchen.
Well, what size groups do you usually cater to?
Well, I've done anything from a small romantic dinner for two, which we'll be talking about a little bit, up to large groups, weddings, business events, 200, 300 people.
How long have you been in town?
I've been at this location for coming up on 3 years. This is actually a change of career for me. I started out many years ago in the computer field and just decided to follow my passion and move into the cooking arena.
How did you get interested in cooking?
Well, I've always cooked. I've always, at my house, the rule between my wife and I was the first person home always made dinner. And that worked well while I was working close to home, but then I ended up taking a job downtown and I was never the first one home. So the rule became I had to do all the cooking on the weekend, and it just kind of picked up from there. I started out very simply with just barbecue and whatnot, and then when the weather got cold, started doing more elaborate meals, and it got to the point where I was planning 4 or 5 course meals starting on Tuesday, spending all of my lunch hours and after work hours planning and preparing and then serving this meal to my family.
Well, today you're going to show us how not only to cook the perfect Valentine's Day meal for your significant other, your spouse, but also all the trimmings that come with it, and you've got some great ideas.
That's right. When you prepare a meal, especially when you're doing it just for you and your loved one, there's something special about spending the time to actually, make the effort to make a nice meal, especially if you're doing it yourself. And it really, the food is great, but it's all about the preparation and the ambiance and anticipation of the event. So we're going to talk about some of those ideas today.
Great. Let's go to it.
Okay. When we start out, you really want to set the mood for your event. And we're going to be talking about a romantic dinner for two because it is Valentine's Day. One of the things that I like to tell my customers, or when I'm doing it at my house, is you really want your loved one to anticipate the event. And so for that, it's always nice to write up or print up a nice little invitation so that they know that, hey, there's a dinner coming. You don't have to give a lot of details. You don't have to say that we're going to be eating at the house or whatever, but a nice invitation. And I have some examples here. For example, wouldn't it be nice if you walked out to your car and sitting on your driver's seat is a rose with just an invitation kind of crinkled and tied onto it that just kind of, and if we take this off, we do this. Oh, sorry, I just threw the rose on the table. If we look at this, it says, "Please join me for dinner this coming Saturday evening." Maybe I dropped this on my wife's car seat on a Tuesday, and so she's anticipating it. It says, "I will pick you up at 6:30 p.m. sharp. We'll be dining at a very exclusive cafe." She doesn't have to know that it's going to be at your house, but that's very exclusive. So please dress in your nicest dinner wear. It's always important to give your special one an idea of what to wear because they don't know what's going to be happening.
So you're really setting the mood for romance.
Exactly. And if you don't want to do something more formal, even though it's cold outside, you can maybe plan a picnic. So here, for instance, is another one I put together. It says it's really cold out, but that doesn't mean we can't have a picnic. Join me in the living room on Friday at 7 p.m. and be sure to wear something comfortable. And if she was leaving for the day and found that on the kitchen table, what a nice surprise. And then the anticipation of that event going forward.
And with frugal being the new black these days, the picnic idea sounds just wonderful.
Sure, and you don't have to go exquisite on the food. It's just taking that extra effort that's really what's important. From there is deciding where to eat. In this case, I actually set up two little venues for you. This could be at in your dining room. If you have a nice table, you don't need a tablecloth, just lay it out. I did a couple things here that I want you to take note of. Everything is all plated out with a lot of glassware in that. It's always something special when you go into a fancy restaurant and there's all this silverware and glassware all laid out and everything. So that's something that it's time to take out the nice china and lay everything out.
And she or he doesn't have to set the table.
Exactly. The other thing that you'll notice, if you look around the table, there are only 2 chairs. Even though this table holds 8 people, I've moved all the chairs out of the way. This really indicates that it's only a dinner for the 2 of you. There's not going to be the kids hanging around or anything. It's just 2 people. I put a very simple centerpiece on the table. Not a big giant bouquet of flowers, but just a martini glass with a single rose floating in it.
So it doesn't take a lot to be elegant.
Absolutely. This, you can buy yourself a single rose down at the local grocery store for $3, and there you go. The other thing, you don't want a big centerpiece because you're going to be looking across the table at each other. You don't want to hide what you can see. Something else you can do, I've got these napkins folded. In this napkin, which is where maybe my wife would be sitting, I've tucked a little note on the inside just for her to kind of find as I'm running into the kitchen to prepare food. So she grabs a napkin to put on her lap, and there's a little love note. What a cute little fun idea for her.
So you're setting the scene for dinner.
Exactly. If you don't want to sit at the table, or maybe if you want to have a more casual environment, as I mentioned before, a picnic, I've set up my corner here kind of as a little picnic spot. Just grab yourself a box, throw a tablecloth on it, a couple throw pillows, grab a basket, fill it with your food. Could be just finger food, maybe even it's just sandwiches, doesn't matter. But it's just something very elegant and just for the 2 of you. In this case, the wine is already set. Got some small plates, wine glasses, and can go from there. The other thing you want to do is kind of set the ambiance for the evening. In this case, we have a lot of light on here so you can see us, but on the night of your dinner, you want to dim the lights, or even better, turn all the lights off and just put candles all around. One important thing to keep note of, don't make the mistake of buying scented candles, because nothing ruins the way that food tastes if you've got some verbena scented candle burning in the kitchen. So just some unscented candles, lay those around. And you also want to have a little bit of mood music. Nothing with words, a lot of instrumental, maybe some smooth jazz or some classical or
Jim
piano.
Brickman.
Sure. So something like that. And then that sets your mood.
And again, you've very simply done candles in
Exactly.
small jars.
This isn't even a votive candle. This is just a tumbler that I threw some marbles in and a little votive candle in there. And that just sits on a mirror and no big deal.
So that doesn't take a lot of effort or a lot of funds to create a perfect
Not
environment.
at all.
Okay.